Mention that at all. It's missing.
It's missing a lot.
It's missing a lot of information. There's a lot of information missing from that document.
That's right. That's right. A lot of information.
Been on the picket line the last week. I'm disappointed overall with a couple of things. One, the class size movement was slower and a little more weak than I hoped for. Essentially, one student less for 4 years in a row. It doesn't really get substantive change for my students or for me. And I was out here for that as a quality of life issue. I didn't see a lot of movement on the issue of co-locations with charter schools. As I understand the new contract, it simply says that there will be a chair who's in charge of communication, which is great, but that doesn't really change the facts of how easy it will be for charter schools to come onto our campuses and kind of take resources away from the public schools that already exist there. So that's disappointing. I'm also a little frustrated by the language around the salary, not the 6% itself, if that is indeed what it is, but just the language is missing from the 40-page document that we were given. So the summary has the language of the salary increase, but the 40-page document has nothing about it to clarify and to add more specificity to that. So that's frustrating because I have questions about it and I can't get them answered. So there's also places in the 40-page document where there's sentences at the end of a page and the next page doesn't complete the sentence. So there's some pages missing clearly. It's just difficult to vote on a contract when you don't have all the information you need. So although I'm very grateful for the concessions around counselors, librarians, and teachers and nurses, those are very important things. The ROP teachers got 10 hours given to them for work time for prep. That's important. So there's some important things that did happen, but I'm also disappointed about some of those other matters.
Like Wilson teacher, first reaction, it was kind of happy to hear it, that we got a contract, that we got an agreement. But after reading it, it's kind of like both-sided because, as a high school, it really doesn't, But with my wife as elementary, I see that it doesn't really benefit as much. So it's kind of two-way street, man.
As a counselor, the ratio is 1 to 500. I feel that I'm not able to give kids personalized attention, and that's what we were fighting for. We want kids to have quality counseling, to be able to help them and refer them to the appropriate resources, and with 1 to 500, that's not going to happen. I really feel disappointed. Like we were out in the line, for all these days, and to lower it by 1 each year is not really giving the kids, what they deserve.
I just feel because our campus is so family oriented, we know each other on a personal level, that yes, we got major things to sign for, but I feel like our adult classroom personnel, our counselors, our PSWs just got swept under the rug. Like a 500 to 1 seems good, but when you have large schools, like maybe counselors who have 700, it's going to seem like a reduction, but it's still 500 to 1, which is not fair. And then with the psychiatric social workers at our school, we have a lot of kids who are in need that don't always get seen because of time constraints, because they're only here for certain periods of time. Like, I don't think it's fair for those two parties. Yeah, teachers won, but out of classroom person, it was successful for the major points. They did promise more librarians, more nurses. Some schools will get more counselors based on the numbers, but it's really a stretch for that, the out of classroom people. And I think they're going to feel that why weren't we represented? And they were on strike with us, as everybody should be. And it just seems like they didn't get a fair shot. I think they were the compromise. There was enough done with charter schools. Yes, they mentioned that initiative, like the county and everybody's going to be involved to try to reform it. But the district could have very well said, we are no longer taking applications until we see what this issue is, where the money's going. Are they doing what every other school is doing? Because they do have a board. They don't have a school site council like schools do, and they're not held accountable. So they could have just easily said, until whatever date, we're going to have a stop on charter applications to figure out the issue.
The process for voting today on the contract, most of us feel that it was pretty rushed. We had received an email earlier in the day that said we were going to be able to, once they had voted on a tentative agreement, that we'd be able to take a look at it for 24 hours, then we vote. and then we'd know when that was ratified, and then we return to schools. And we've only had about 30, 45 minutes to really look at the whole contract, and that just doesn't feel like enough time to really understand the implications of what's going to happen next year and all the way through 2022, because there are pieces of it that go to 20. Preferred that we had some kind of town hall, something go on where we had questions and answers, where also our president and maybe some of the other elected members for UTLA explained why this was the best that we could get, and that this was all we really were going to get, so that we'd have a better idea of that this was it. We didn't need to go on strike any longer than we already did.
I think that this is almost like the shotgun wedding feeling, where read, vote, and then we'll let you know by 9 o'clock. I don't think that's enough time for us to really gather what they've agreed to, at least. I guess what the tentative agreement is. And they're already telling us to go back to work tomorrow. So I don't know how I feel about that, because it's just way too soon. They told us at first 24 hours and you vote and you have time, and should have taken Wednesday and as a group, you know, talked about this, like what are the pros, like have questions answered, because I have a lot of questions that are not going to get answered. And I have a feeling the way people are with 6 days of striking, they're done. Like, this is the best, yay. But if you're a classroom teacher, yes, you did well. But if you're a counselor or a psychiatric social worker, any of those people, they're like, well, why was I out there for 6 days? I got nothing in return. And I feel that because we are a very close family. We know ourselves inside and outside of school. So I just don't feel good about it at all.
On earth is weaker than the feeble blade shall run, but the union makes us strong. Sing it with me out. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. The union makes us strong. It is we who plow the prairies, build the cities where they trade, dug the mines and build the workshops, endless mines of railroad laid. Now we stand outcast and starving, men of wonders that we've made, but the union makes us strong. Scrub the floors and clean the dirt, feed the kids and send them off to school, and then we go to work, where we work for half the wages, for a boss who likes to flirt, but the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. All the union makes us strong. They have taken untold billions that they never toiled to earn, but without our brain and muscle, not a single wheel can turn. We can break their haughty power, gain our freedom.